So, today we're working on my car, the G80.
The fifth con.
Take 7. We're working on my car today. We keep trying this, but something keeps messing up with either the camera or the card or the both or whatever. So we're trying it with another camera. But today, we're working on my car. We are doing an engine glow up, if you will. We got Devin helping out, of course. Matt, moral support. Jeremy. Oh,
Jeremy.
He's gonna touch all this footage physically, so
yeah,
he's doing something.
he's here spiritually. Here's what the engine bay currently looks like. Boo. But we are doing a lot of cool Do88 stuff. We are doing the engine cover, intake. Super nice, super high quality carbon. Looks amazing. Here's one of the sides, here's the other side. We also have this pipe that you'll have coming across the front. It's already got the threaded inserts on it. We have the ECU cover. And this kit actually goes all the way back to the turbo inlets. And it replaces the metal turbo inlets down there too. So, really excited. We got the paint match strut brace that you'll see here soon. There's a kit we got off Amazon for it. It's a primer, paint, clear coat, all in one. So it looks super nice. We're taking off this intake. And if you know what this intake is, good for you. If you don't, you can probably find out pretty quick. But there's 2 companies that make one that looks really similar to this. I'm not actually sure which one this is. I bought it used off of someone off of Beamer Post. The fitment wasn't great. The filter's actually rubbed up against the body. And you can see right there where it was rubbing the paint off. It did the same thing on the other side where it rubbed the paint off on the filters. This bar or this tube coming up here was actually too high, so it was rubbing against the bottom of the strut brace. So putting on the Do88, it's going to be a lot better. It's going to be a lot more awesome.
Let's get it taken apart.
Yeah, let's do it. So right now, taking off some of the stuff to install the new intake. We are currently removing some of the inlets. So here's the back one. There's the factory one for taking off. We're putting on, I think, a wider Do88 one. And there's the little turbo down there. Isn't it so cute? And we dropped a clip down here somewhere. So we're currently trying to find it. Then we'll be removing the other inlet right here. It's hard to see because it's all black, but you have to remove this evap, an electrical connector from this one. And so we're currently down deep in all that crap.
So right now, we're in the process of trying to recover a little white clip that holds the little plug onto the turbo inlet.
So we're just going step by step from the Do88 instructions.
Following the issue.
Because this is kind of involved, not gonna lie.
They clearly put the R&D into this.
Yeah.
To make it the best.
This isn't just a pipe and a filter. This is a lot.
Remove it. Next step is to heat this until this can come off.
Okay. You want to hold it and I'll heat?
We could just set it somewhere and heat it.
Manual focus.
Record. Gotcha. All right. Now we're installing some O-rings back into the new turbo inlets, stuff like that. Just making sure the screws fit in there before we get going.
Had to put this.
All these O-rings and stuff, they're nice and dry, so we're going to use some PB Blaster silicone lubricant on those, and that's going to make those seat real nicely without the possibility of tearing.
Seems like now would be a good time for a word from our sponsors. All right, so before we start,
we're gonna throw these pair of really, really bad rusty pliers in Blaster's Metal Rescue Rust Remover Bath. But it's safe on every single thing except for rust. So we're putting everything in there, including the handle. Check on those in a bit.
So one thing everybody needs when they have a shop is PB Blaster. The reason we use PB Blaster is because you don't want to go torquing on wrenches, bolts, things like that, risk breaking them if they're rusty on the other side. Like you can see right here, these look fine on this side, but on the back side, it's very rusty. So we're gonna show you what it's like to try and break a bolt loose when you don't have PB Blaster, and what it's like after you've soaked it in some PB Blaster. So if you don't have it, I suggest you run out and get it, because we use it every day.
It's not happening. So we'll be back in a few minutes with the ones that have been sprayed. So it's been on for about 3 or 4 minutes. We're gonna try with the normal ratchet first. There it is.
Like a balls.
So much easier, it's actually ridiculous.
All right, so you remember the pliers we threw into the Blaster Metal Rescue? It's been about 8 hours, so let's check them out now. That's pretty incredible.
And that was with the grip in there, so
Yeah,
it didn't hurt the grip at all. It is safe on everything except for rust.
And we did not pull this out and rub on it or nothing like that.
Nope.
As you can see, there's still a little bit of rust under there. Wipe it away. Man, this is amazing. That's awesome.
So you can go to Blaster for all your lubricant penetrant anti-rust needs.
We got a little bit on there. Yeah. Now that'll make those slide into those new parts a little easier. You want to make sure you seat it by hand first. That way you don't break your tabs off trying to screw them down tight. That'd be a big mistake.
So we're back. We got the, what were they called? The turbo inducer sleeves, which was a sleeve that went on the inside of the turbo here.
They should just slide right in there.
Yeah, they should just slide right in. We suggest a little bit of grease to help them slide in.
Yeah.
This front one went in pretty easily. You can barely even see it, but here's the turbo down there. We had a little trouble with that one, but we got it in. After that, you put in the O-rings on the new inlets. So here's the new inlets. Grease those so the O-rings stay in place, and then we're putting this back on, which is I think it's
Also
the
grease.
evap thing.
Yeah, it's for the heater element
Yeah,
thing
the
in
heater
the
element.
intake. So we're just gonna press that in, and we're not gonna force it because
So some of these bolts, a little trick we're doing is getting a magnet and then putting the bolt on the magnet, and you can thread it in, get it started with the magnet so you don't drop the bolt, because these are in some pretty tough places. So
yeah, and the bottom of his car is not necessarily open anywhere. So
yeah, you'll have to pull a lot of panels if you drop something, so be careful. Putting the turbo inlet on now, the front turbo inlet. So I'm certain that I'm going to drop this bolt down in here, so we're just going to tape it onto the end of this.
that's ideal.
Make sure that it does not fall down in this engine bay.
Here you go, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Something.
Wow. Just drop that.
All right, John, let's button this up.
God me. Nightmare.
This is actually pretty nuts. The Do88 inlets are massive compared to the factory ones. This is what come off the car. And it's got BMW part numbers and whatnot. It's the Do88.
Here's you. Here's the guy she told you not to worry about.
Jeez. And then the other one was a plastic one, because it had this little heater element thing in there. And this one is actually not much different in size. I don't know why they would have that other one so small and this one bigger but plastic. I don't know. It's a weird setup. We're making it better.
Okay, so we just got the inlets on. They were a nightmare. To get down to these bolts underneath them is just crazy hard. We used these with the ball end. They helped a lot. We ended up taping the screw to it to get it started. And this inlet actually sits up against the heat shield right here. So it's kind of hard to get to. We made it work. It is what it is. So on to the next steps.
If you're gonna install those, just like right in here in between these lines, if you just take a little mallet to it and just dink, you can probably clearance it before you even get the inlet in there.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea. Check it out before you try to put it in for that heat shield. You can, like you said, mold that heat shield back a little bit, get it out of the way, but it's not too bad. All right.
Out of the way. No scratchy.
Okay, so we got one on. Let's go ahead and take a peek. One side on here. Fits like a glove. You probably can't see, but down there where the inlet tube matches up with the factory one, it's like perfect.
Spot on.
Spot on.
This is what it's like to have an actual product development and not just maybe it'll fit.
For real R&D.
All right, now we gotta prepare the next box.
All right, change the SD cards. Got the intakes on. Haven't put everything back together yet. But man, do they look good. They sit in there perfectly. They line up with those intake tubes perfectly. Okay, we're gonna get some other stuff put back on. Some of the hardware and stuff that we had to take off for this. And then we're gonna get the engine cover back on. And then there's an ECU cover over here somewhere. And there it is. There. So there were some plastic clips we had for those mounts. We borrowed / stole some titanium hardware from Jeremy. And using some threaded inserts to mount those up. We're going to do a titanium engine bay dress up at some point in here anyway too. Of course, from JDC.
All right, I guess I'll button up the rest of it now.
A little bit.
That is one clean M3 engine bay.
Good thing I was here to do all the work.
Got the Master Tech over here, Matt.
Right.
We call him the Matster Tech. But it's beautiful, I guarantee
Look
it.
how well those line up.
Dude, it's so nice. Oh yeah, see it there. How do you feel?
I love
Stuff.
We got a sticker
That's
that
the new air intake right there.
that's the Do88 intake. And it's the only one that had some. I did want the symmetry, and that's the only one that had like the symmetry of the air boxes like that in carbon with the inlets.
No, seriously, stellar job, Do88. These are
Yes.
very nice parts.
Absolutely. Fitment is
Guaranteed, yeah.
fitment is freaking on point. Like it is so perfect.